Imagine this. You sit inside your car, you type in an address, and then nothing. No wheel, no pedals, no gear shift. Just a seat, a screen, and a smooth ride as the car takes you anywhere you want. This was the promise of self-driving cars, and for years we were told it was right around the corner. By 2020, they said you wouldn't even need a driver's license. By 2022, you'd order a robot taxi instead of an Uber. By 2025, today, driving yourself will be as old-fashioned as riding a horse. But here's the strange thing. Most of us are still driving our cars the same way our parents and grandparents did. No robots, no cars without steering wheels, just us behind the wheels. And the even stranger part, it's not because the AI doesn't work. In fact, self-driving cars are actually pretty good at driving. The real reason we don't have them everywhere is much harder to fix. Welcome back to the No-Brainer, where we dive into the science, history, and philosophy behind the world around us. And today we're asking, why don't we have self-driving cars yet? And why the biggest problem isn't the technology at all, but something far more complicated. Let's rewind to the early 2010s. In 2009, Google unveiled its secret self-driving car project, and within a few years it was navigating highways on its own. Elon Musk claimed Tesla would drive across the US without human input by 2017, and Uber promised fleets of self-driving taxis would make human drivers obsolete. Investors poured in billions of dollars. Cities began redesigning their roads, assuming they'd soon be filled with robotic cars, and news headlines predicted a near future where kids wouldn't even bother learning to drive. The hype was overwhelming. Industry leaders promised a transportation revolution, safer roads, less traffic, fewer parking lots, and even cheaper commutes. And yet, here we are. The year is 2025, and if you look around, you'll see that cars still have steering wheels. People are still commuting to work the old-fashioned way, stressed, tired, and human. So what went wrong? But first, let's be clear. Self-driving technology itself is pretty incredibly complex. And here's what's inside one of these cars. LiDAR sensors shoot out invisible lasers, creating a 3D map of the environment with centimeter accuracy. And radar bounces off other vehicles to measure distance and speed, and the cameras of the car's eyes detect traffic lights, pedestrians, and lane markings. And then there's the neural network, trained on millions of miles of driving data, constantly learning to recognize patterns. The result? Under perfect conditions, wide roads, clear lane markings, normal traffic, good weather, and everything, these cars are already better than human drivers. They don't get distracted, they don't fall asleep, they don't text while driving and react in milliseconds. But here's the catch. The world isn't made of perfect conditions. Roads are always messy, people are always unpredictable, and weather doesn't care about your algorithm. Now, self-driving cars can handle 99% of situations on the road, but it's often that last 1%, the edge cases, that sometimes cause everything to break down. Think about it. A child suddenly chases a ball into the street, or a construction worker waves traffic through a blocked lane. A cop maybe gives unusual hand signals at a busy intersection, or snow covers all the lane marking, leaving a blank white canvas, or maybe a cyclist swerves to avoid a pothole. All of these situations, humans may not think twice about. We use experience, cultures, and intuition, things like making eye contact with the cyclist, reading body language of the cop, or just feeling what another driver will do. But machines, they see only patterns, and when the pattern breaks, they hesitate. This is sometimes called the long tail problem. AI can handle the common sense, but the rare, unpredictable events are endless, and that's often where accident happens, and is part of our question. But here's where things actually get even more complicated. Even if AI solved that 1% problem, there are other barriers holding self-driving cars back. The first one is obviously humans are unpredictable. Driver bend rules constantly. A rolling stop at a stop sign, or sneaking through a yellow light, a friendly wave to let another car merge. AI struggles with these type of chaos, and humans use unspoken signals like eye contact at four-way stops, a quick hand gesture, or even just aggressively move into another lane. But cars, they can't read those cues. And another one is infrastructure isn't built for robots. Our roads were designed for people, not machine. Lane markings often fade and traffic signs get blocked by trees, and road work can change layout overnight. In some places, there aren't even proper lane markings at all. And if you add in weather, fog, rain, snow, and the sensors can easily get confused. And a bigger problem is the liability problem. It's a legal nightmare because let's say if a self-driving car hits someone, well, who's responsible for the car? Is it the owner of the car company, or the programmer who wrote the algorithm? Our laws were built for human drivers, not algorithms, and until the legal system catches up, companies hesitate to take on the risk. And here's the paradox at the heart of the problem. Right now, humans cause 94% of car accidents. Around 40,000 people die in car crashes in the US every year. In theory, self-driving cars could cut that number dramatically. But the catch is, society doesn't want them to be as safe as humans. We want them to be perfect. If a human driver crashes, it's tragic but accepted. If a self-driving car crashes, even once, it makes national news. That double standard means companies can't just match human performances. They have to exceed it by orders of magnitude, and reaching that level of trust could take even decades. However, if you look back, the resistance and non-acceptance yet of the self-driving car isn't new at all. When elevators were first automated, people refused to step inside without a human operator. It took decades for trust to build, and only after a massive elevator strike in the mid-20th century forced the switch. Similarly, early airplanes were seen as dangerous toys. Even after they were safer than cars per mile, many still prefer to drive. And what's crazier is there's electricity too. Electricity was feared when it was introduced into homes at first. Politicians warned it would burn down houses or electrocute families. Every new technology that shifts control from human to machines often faces fear, skepticism, and cultural resistance, and self-driving cars are just the latest version of that story. So how do we get there? How do we actually get to that final perfect version of the self-driving car? Well, the answer may be gradual adoption, not sudden revolution. Many cars already offer adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking. Drivers are slowly getting used to letting go of small parts of control, and companies like Waymo operate robot taxis in specific cities like Phoenix, where conditions are predictable. This limited scope helps prove the concept. And then smarter traffic lights, digital road signs, and better road markings could make it easier for AI to drive safely. In the future, roads might be designed with machines in mind, not only humans. And the path forward isn't just making AI smarter, it's also making our world more machine-friendly. However, we are not really sure if that's the perfect road we really want. Do we really want a machine-occupied world, even if it means more convenience? So maybe the question isn't when will the AI be ready? Yes, self-driving cars are not fully ready for widespread use as of right now, as significant technical, regulatory, and ethical challenges still remain. However, maybe another important question is, when will society be ready? Are we willing to redesign cities, update laws, and trust our lives to the algorithms, or will we cling to human drivers, even though they're statistically far more dangerous? This isn't just a question about car, it's about how much control we're willing to give up to technology. Self-driving cars are a mirror. They don't just reflect how advanced our technology is. They sometimes reflect how unpredictable and deeply human our world really is. And maybe, just maybe, the hardest challenge of all is not to teach the cars how to drive. It's teaching ourselves to let go of that wheel. So what do you think? Would you trust a self-driving car with your life? Or should humans always stay in control? Drop a comment below because I want to hear your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on science, history, and philosophy. Check out our Instagram and X for extra insights too. And this is the no-brainer. Thank you for watching.